We are back with a introduction to what I shared on our lovely community. So, here at IHP, we talk about you being yourself in this lovely lifetime of now. Okay, you're immortal, I'm immortal. Okay. We talk about building an inner child adult life and love life. And this means that you want to and or have secure attachment, functional adult behavior. So you know your thoughts and emotions. Thoughts, emotions are not facts at all. Likes, dislikes, okay? You aim for integration of the brain. You aim to live your restorative embodied self, which is the real love biochemistry, not when people are doing any of the other things that we have a 4D and 3D collective, so please keep in mind a 5D mystic in the Enlightenment Soul Age group. It's Christ consciousness. There's integration of the brain. I'm a restorative embodiment. I'm a secure attachment 1 year old. Don't come near me. Even as a teenager, I learned all about the unkindness of what is going to be between childhood developmental trauma, teens, to any person who has any type of trust break, not secure attachment, all of it. So I've met all of them. And in fact, as I got older, I was like, wow, they maintained their unkindness, Jesus and God, as do the 7 to 14 charming who have a lot of imagination for evil versus knowing that science's technology proves there's no evil. Thank you to our lovely Patrick McNamara, neuroscientist. He shares a fear receptor in your brain, goes wonky, nightmare after nightmare, and I have plenty of downloads. And no, I don't get destabilized, but that's because I'm grounded in humanity. So my 1 year old is securely attached, so don't come near me again. Teasing, they would pretend to want to dunk me in water, and they thought it was funny. I said no. So my 1 year old, thank you, Mom, was able to maintain what others say is too sensitive, and I want to flip my finger up. I won't, because again, I have the thank you, Daniel Siegel, and all the sciences, and Stephen Porges. He's continuing his research on our mammalian heritage, and he didn't write a book about what actual love is, which is not people torturing each other with push-pull, maladaptive child behavior, the rumination, the biochemistry of fear because the limbic system is engaged. Even when people are justifying certain types of lifestyle approaches, it's called re-traumatizing yourself, and that's not a way to support a person. It's kind of like when I hear the attachment coaches saying secure attachment is boring to those who need to hear differently, because then you see people going online and saying, well, since everyone's picking on the avoidant attachment, I'm going to say, since humans are fucked up, I'm not doing journaling or mindfulness or meditation. One, no, humans are not fucked up. That sounds like a lame, in fact, teenage excuse. And two, you can get out of that. It's called you're suffering, not me. You have hell in the body with the trauma charges. Oh, and there's no demons with yoga that come out of you. It's called, thank you, Peter Levine, trauma charges from the body stored in muscles, bones, tissues. I know that some people find it hard to believe that there's trauma charges or that the first 3 years of your life don't matter anything. I find it hard to believe that they don't understand that there's a whole equipe of people. Now, granted, Daniel Siegel gets chased down in the hallways because of those who are of the same fields who don't believe in attachment. So this is why we have two groups. The human love group is here at IHP. The ones who want to do human suffering love, they continue to do that. So they're okay with torturing each other and staying in what is the outdated. Yesterday, our ancestors had the reptilian, you see, because we did have need, and we still need it, but that's for physical potential disasters or if we're out in the forest with animals, not with people. And when people blame our Western world for, what is it again? There's a lot of ways I could go about it, but I'm going to leave that alone for now and finish reading up first. So we support real love, which as Stephen Porges points out, and he was going to write a book with his wife, but they said, the publishers, no, sorry, Stephen, people want drama. They didn't use that word. They just said people believe that love is to be suffered, unrequited, not met. And it's like, that's not, you can't actually physically love. And when you explain, I find it hard to believe, well, you know what? I am not the biochemist or the neuroscientist, but I'm learning from them and neurobiologists, and they're not pseudoscience. I'm the pseudoscience lady because I'm bringing my subjective, spiritual and spirituality, mystic journey, holistic practitioners. I'm good with that. I'm not going to say that holistic is better than sciences. No, true sciences and true spirituality, in fact, you'll see they come together. It's a life of meaning and connection beyond the soul self. They're smart brains, smart faces brains, so stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable. My acronym, FACES, is Daniel Siegel's for integrated brains. When you're flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable, which is why anyone who doesn't want to be their authentic self will find me And that's an actual thing that a childhood trauma survivor can tell you all about when people don't get childhood, yeah, good childhood. So I'm not going to go tell them that because then I'm going to get punched in the face, maybe. I don't know. I'm just going to trigger something, and it's really not nice of me. God taught me how to be humble. And it's not about it being Luciferian era. No, it's that people with Pinocchio bodies of made of wood want to say, no, no, hangover, mean girls, lifestyle of cutting each other, drinking, drugging, all of that. That's called life. Don't you know? Don't you know you're too serious? Really? Huh? No, no, I'm not too serious. I'm not a genius either, but I do know how to use the entirety of my brain because my inner child is alive. And that's what we get to do here. So, inner child adults, don't come near us with any of that exaggerated adolescent, unkind, nightmarish imagination of, even stigma. We don't need to demonize or romanticize any of personality disorders. FYI, they're healable. Movies do a very bad job at having you understand. Also, docu-series that shouldn't be called docu-series. They confuse you, and they don't interview people like Patrick McNamara, who tells you there's no demon that possesses you. Oh, but by the way, not all therapists believe in dissociative disorders. So let's remember there's two groups, okay? So the group that believes in sciences, come on over because they have technology that shows the brain. Again, I'm pseudoscience lady for a reason, and I respect academia, real academia, not the ones who use what they have as a title, who say, yeah, I know more. No, you don't. You actually don't. I'm so sorry. You don't know what it is to be an inner child adult. I do. It's called, I'm going to stare at you blankly like I did as a teenager because no, you don't know everything at all, and nor do I. And I'm okay with that. You seem to think you know everything, teens, and then when they grow up, they become Pinocchio, and then they start to grow ears and a tail, and they start to say, no, no, I'm smart. You have to call me smart, and you're stupid, lady, because you're mystic woo-woo. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, I am stupid. Totally. I'm totally stupid. I'm going to go have some fun with academics and empowered brains and empowered people. They're alive. Real boys, real girls, real days who don't bring me their default mode network that's still scanning self and others in this hypervigilant way where I need to be always concerned because my nervous system is going to pick up on your fear and you are telling me that you're badass, but you're not. And then after fucking me, you're going to feel disgust, contempt for me, and shame. Wow, that's a really sad story. I mean, the calling back I can get over real easily, by the way, because you know what happens when you're an empowered woman? You make conscious choices. It's called I chose, I learned. Yes, that's it. You're not sitting. How many scars do I have? Do I have gold in them yet? That's not what we do here. Emotions are not like needing a reward. We do emotional plane here. Again, I'm an inner child which knows exactly what I want around me. And I, in fact, chose my herd as I got to become an adolescent who was aware of you're all doing stupid things. You all do seem like Pinocchio on that island, and I don't see you getting off it. I'm going to pick the ones that want off the island, and that's what I did, and then I kept doing it. So I have healthy self-worth people around me, not anything that wants to do the in-between because they're boring intellectually and emotionally. There's a Pinocchio wooden body. I will perceive the facade a mile away, and again, I'm not interested. So anyone who wants real relationships, come on over. Again, 5D Collective. So let me keep on reading. Real Love Biochemistry. Thank you again, Stephen Porges. You should have published the book. Hopefully you will change your mind one day. Some of us would have read it. I would have. I will still if you publish it. So you love working with emotions and thoughts. Yay, because that's where with mindfulness what happens is you have focused attention. Awareness brings up uncertainty. So your body's the container. And oh, look, thoughts, they're not factual anythings. If you don't like me, it's not a fact, because I have a not like. It's called I don't have a like. It's okay. You don't have to like me. I don't like all people either. And when they make it a point because they're drunk, because they were rejected, and because they think that their way is going to do, I don't even know. I mean, because really what it is they're suffering. And then they corner you and say, how dare you not salute me? When in 3 years I've never saluted you. So that made a clear point, consistently communicating, I don't want to be your friend. I think that that's a right of any person out in the world. I mean, I didn't know that to love all people, you had to befriend all people, and that's what lovely teenagers like to present. When you say, I love all people are worthy. No, you can't. I just told you something. No. Let me ask you a series of questions to lead you down the path of Hansel and Gretel that I'm going to decide that I'm right about. And there's your Cusco's. And we love having a Cusco around because the 3-year-old just wanted that floor. So anytime I meet a 3-year-old who has a 16-year-old, I know who they are because they're going to do something like that. You can't say that. Sure, I was done saying I can a long time ago. Or do you want me to lie to you? That one was like, no, I want you to say you're wrong. I'm not going to. You want me to lie to you? No. Okay, I'm going to think about that one. You know what, Maria? The right silence, the best way out. Yep. And I learned how not to give the blank stare if I don't give a shit, because that's when they will notice it. And so I learned that too, because apparently they don't accept that a differentiated self wants to just say what she thinks and feel. Like, seriously, that's why I'm stupid, lady. So again, we have fun here. We get to be serious with playfulness. It's called Krishna Lila because we have our social engagement system. Nobody's sensitive ego. Empowered men, women, and theys make conscious choices. So if something doesn't go the exact way we want it, oh, we move beyond the concept of the one, the concept of love. You know what you need to love, right? You need to not be afraid of it. Otherwise, you can't stick around. And that's why if somebody doesn't text me again after fucking me and they think it's disgusting, I'm going to be like, wow, again, so sad. Therapy. Anyone? There's great therapists. It's 2024, really. Pinocchio with wood, there's no need for it. And I know that the people who don't want to do it, it's okay. They won't be tuning in to IHP content at all. That's why I'm trying to share with you all who we are. And mentorship, yes, for those who are serious about their emotions and their thoughts and being their inner child. Because, you know, as an inner child adult, every time I see somebody not saving their inner child, it's like when Tinkerbell tells Wendy about fairies dying. And so I'm a somatic empath. I'm a 5D mystic. I'm part of pure consciousness. And I'm not kidding right now. And I know how to mind my own business. As Sadhguru shares, we're not here to affect states of consciousness. Difference is I'm not in the spirituality soul age group. I'm in the enlightenment soul age group. And I know all about the energetic. So yeah, it's more of, this is not provable. However, I do know, according to attachment trauma information, thank you, C.M. Porges, that anybody in their biochemistry of fear will be a stubborn, quote unquote, spiteful, quote unquote, teenager who's in shame, blame, fault, revenge. So the torture is in them. I feel bad, but I try sharing information. They seem to have it all gathered together, and I'm the stupid lady. So let's leave, Pinocchio's with widow alone, because they know I found it hard to believe that your implicit memory has anything to do with you at all. Yep, okay. So we here support 5D relationships, people who want to continue living love with a biochemistry of love, not the ones who want to live love with the biochemistry of fear. They want to have human suffering, unrequited love stuff going on, push pull. They want to be hyper vigilant. They want unhealthy self-worth partners. They want to keep on basically not having their default mode network be reworked, because that's something they need to be motivated to want to leave. The default mode network that consistently scans one, so black and white thinking, the also, what is it called, split thinking, then their body that seeks to get into some type of high risk silliness because they're used to this on and off stuff. Okay, so the maladaptive child behavior is healable, but only if the person's motivated to disengage from all of those unhealthy self-soothing mechanisms, all of them. The drugs, the fucking, the drugging, the sex stuff that also is completely, I have heard and I have noticed that there's holistic practitioners within the mystic community who do not take seriously the mental health community. When you find somebody serious, you're going to notice that they know the names Peter Levine, Stephen Porges, Dr. Daniel Siegel, Dr. Daniel Fox. They will know about psychedelics and doing it with therapists. They will know about how to walk you to get to integration, not give you you don't have the capacity to get there. No, that it is a journey, that it is a long journey. We don't know. There's a journey to get out of hell from your body. And the journey is your integration, your inner and outer well-being, which studies are showing. So the ones who have their lifestyle preferences and beliefs and ideas in the forefront will know a mantle when we see one, because they're not explaining to you your reptilian nervous system is not an alien species. I mix words up, and I already know the ones who say it's pseudoscience lady. Yes, it's pseudoscience lady. It's just not crap. And it's self-help lady, and it's not bullshit. It's a lady who knows how to share information for the audience that wants to take care of their inner child, bring themselves to healthy self-worth and inner and outer well-being. And that's because I care about what I do. I started with let's be yourself. Psychology, sociology, existentialism. Now we got a buttload more attachment trauma, and the mystic stuff came. It's a bonus. And it's a bonus because it is really awesome to have past life regression. So we leave alone the Pinocchios with wooden bodies, donkey ears, and a tail. We leave alone those who want to stay on the island. They will turn into donkeys at some point due to the use of imagination and mindset with the dark sides of neuroplasticity. That will perpetuate their shame cycle, for one, the one they're already in. They will also perpetuate limiting beliefs and the human consciousness limiting stories of people hurt people, hurt people, hurt people. No, like Patrick Tiahan, childhood trauma survivor, healing says, no, it's 2024. Hurt people don't have to hurt people. They can go and do work. Or how about the world sucks? People are fucked up. All of those lame excuses that instead are people who just continue their adaptive child and or maladaptive child behavior. So toxic, unhealthy self-worth relationships, push-pull ways and mechanisms, and those lifestyle choices that stem from unresolved trauma that could be healed if the person, so if the Pinocchio chose their inner child self, chose to do emotions and thoughts, and chose their capacity to optimize the use of their brain, body, mind, and heart. But again, let's not tell them that, shall we? In 2024, it's a sad story when people choose to stay a Pinocchio made of wood with ears and a tail, and then they want us to call them smart. And they think they're smart too, by the way, like they actively do, while we know they're throwing their life away, just like that, with no reason except for, no, Maria, the first 3 years of my life don't matter, nor does my teenager, nor does any of the information you're learning from smart people that have facts. So we leave it alone, and we're going to build instead relationships with people who are smart, who know that evil is not an entity, doesn't exist, that we have people who, if they fall within that, we got system. And what we do is try to share with people, hey, let's hope they get good therapists in those prisons, right? Okay, so leave it alone when people want to stay Pinocchios. We build relationships with the living, the ones who choose love, who choose self, who choose others. So we live a life of meaning and connection beyond the solo self. We choose humanity. We choose to live that true spirituality life because there are important things to tend to. Our earth needs us, and the humans, the people who want to be a default mode network that doesn't torture themselves through perpetuating unhealthy lifestyles, which by the way comes from ancient torture, might I add. So I know of groups of people. I've met them in my courses. And anytime I meet a teenager, I know who they look like because they have a mantle and because they skew every single piece of data in an effort to continue to allow a slow and steady. There's no need for the middle ground. There's the need of those of us who know you can make it if you want to. You don't have to. You can do human suffering love narrative. It's not Luciferian era. That's a lame excuse. Called I don't want to do therapy. I don't want to do trauma stuff. I don't want to do any of it. I don't want to believe in it. I want to believe in somebody who says there's imagination for evil because they get all riled up, and I want to be in my hypervigilant, all riled up, projecting that attitude. I want to be an adolescent who stays with a 16-year-old mindset that is rigid and chaotic and that doesn't know one thing about living in a body that has the actual capacity to be your own rest and rejuvenate. So eustress is something I know all about. And then I see the distressed people. And the distressed, though, again, I found it hard to believe. So if you're somebody who wants love and you enjoy being in a eustress, so you want to be here, join us. We get to tap into, again, infinite higher human conscious potential experiences and stories. Our community is going to be built with 5D collective people who do want to do personal development, self-help, and healthy self-worth, functional adult loving relationships to heal trauma and bring forth our humanity seriously while playfully, like an inner child adult with an integrated smart faces. And again, those are acronyms, embodied self-aware brain, what a human can do. So smart, stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable, thanks to you moving into an integrated brain, which is flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, and stable in time. Now, please remember, I'm your 5D Mystic Enlightenment Functional Adult Woo-Woo Pseudoscience podcast host, and I talk about the amazing journey of human evolution and consciousness. And for integration to take place, requires your time and patience. And so it's not a shortcut. I see apps with shortcuts. There's no shortcuts. There's a process that Daniel Siegel describes every time you're moving past something. So when you're processing trauma that comes up, you're making sense of the narrative. That helps you to heal that family trauma stuff. And then there's 4 to 6 weeks or 4 to 8 weeks, one of the two, that create the new neural receptors that connect. And then we need myelin lays out. So the process for him in my DID course with disorganized attachment and dissociative identity disorder, but they don't have to go together, but that's what my course was on. He has a lovely therapist lady who's healed. It took her 6 to 7 years of therapy before she was able to bring down the consciousness barriers and memory barriers. And he didn't mention anything, but they stayed in therapy. And once those memory barriers came down because she was ready for that, then she continued, I think, a little bit more, and she's healed. And she, in fact, is going to be writing a book about her story to share with everyone who has DID. We're not broken, but we're healable. And anybody who has and does heal their trauma, they're saying we're healable. We can claim earned secure attachment and not live a life that is of those who are Pinocchios with a wooden body. So come on over if you do want to enjoy love and aliveness, and you are serious about personal development, self-help, about being yourself, about supporting those who want to also be themselves. We don't need stories demonizing, romanticizing. No, we'll talk a lot, and people won't definitely like the ones who want to support certain things, but it's not about likes or dislikes at IHP. It's about inspiring human potential. And your actual body is an optimized complex system. Thank you, Daniel Siegel, and all the great therapists. And it is already seeking to return home to its origins, which is a restorative embodiment self and a secure attachment brain, a self, you, a human you. That's why when Sadhguru says, if you overflow with humanity, divinity descends, it's because you're an integrated brain, restorative embodiment self. He just doesn't know the psych education. I do. So I get to add the human element to spiritual and spirituality. Join us, and thank you so much. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.